In this third criteria for highly effective lesson design, I think this one really gets at an issue that I think elementary school teachers are great at, and middle school and high school teachers not so much. And that's the issue of academic vocabulary. And when we talk about academic vocabulary, in mathematics, we're talking really about words and notation. It's really both. And so one of the things that we know needs to happen, it's a real inequity if you have one teacher on the fourth grade team really working hard on vocabulary with their students, but the other one's not working on it at all. So we want this to be a collaborative effort of everyone on that team, that fourth grade team, the seventh grade math team, the high school geometry team. They all need to get agreement in this unit. Now, I do claim it as a criteria for the lesson. What I would advise is, for sure, it's a clear set of criteria that you've worked on as part of your unit design, that you're crystal clear. These are all of the vocabulary words and the precision of language we're going to expect from ourselves and our students in this unit, and that has to be well developed. This is the notation, and we're not going to assume they know how to read that notation. We're going to be really careful. Just as a simple example, I think something like take the number 5 and then make it 5 miles. Well, then now it's a quantity. But then if you make it 5 hours, it's a different quantity. So even though they have the same number, they're different quantities, right? And then we're going to make it a ratio, and we're going to call it 5 miles per hour. But then we have these symbols like MPH. And a child's actually supposed to know that that reads miles per hour just because you said it once and wrote it on the board. That doesn't mean they heard it or they even know that. And then sometimes we use the fraction symbol, so M/H. So that slash symbol is supposed to mean per, and what the heck is per? Where did that come from? And that's just one small example of how notation can be so confusing for kids. But because we've been teaching mathematics for a while, we just get used to it. And so we forget about the need to overemphasize what different words mean and what these notations mean, and actually testing the reading of those notations accurately. So one of the suggestions we make is that, no matter, we have lots of ways that words can be confusing, either because, here's another one, for example. So you learn about measurement and you learn about millimeter and centimeter and meter, and then all of a sudden you have this thing with a rectangle called perimeter, or perimeter. And then, so how many peris are in that thing? So for a kid, that's logical, but for us, we're like, what? Well, so we have to kind of recognize these different words we use in the context we use them. And so really all this one's about is making sure that you are not just into the mathematics of the lesson, but you're also into understanding the language of the lesson.